Hello folks, this is Avinash and today we are going to see Introduction to SOAP UI. SOAP UI is a tool basically used for web service testing. So before going to start the SOAP UI, we have to know that what is meant by web services. So today's agenda will become like Introduction to web services, how web services work and installation of SOAP UI. So let us start. Introduction to web services. Web services are simply applications which are available on internet to used by the public or they may be private. Let us take an example that you want to use a tomato sauce in some of your dishes. In that case, either you will prepare your own tomato sauce or you will just go to market and purchase the ready-made tomato sauce. The second method is more convenient as you're not investing or wasting your time in preparing the tomato sauce. So as simple as that, web services are simple small scale applications which are distributed and available on the internet. You just can simply invoke those applications and use those applications in your website or the web application. Typical examples of the web services can be currency converter, a global weather, or the payments for money transfer using NEFT or RTGS, the payments which banks usually exchange in terms of request and responses. So here you have to know the typical client server architecture so that you will come to know about the idea of the web services. So let's say that there is one requester who is requesting for the web service, and there is one web service provider who has the business logic of that web service. Now this requester will request the web service provider and ask the web service provider for the web service. Now this web service provider will analyze the request. Request basically may have the data and the instruction. On basis of that, web service provider will analyze it and then it will produce some output, and that output will be sent back to the requester in terms of response. So these requests and responses are exchanged using XML files usually. Why XML files? Because they are understandable by the any applications. Let's say that your requester is working on the Java and web service provider is working on the VB or maybe some other languages. In that case, it would be hard for the requester to read the response and as well as for the web service provider to read the request. So they both agree upon one common format of data exchange, that is XML files. So they usually send requests and responses in terms of XML files. So that is as simple as that. It may happen that a requester is having some web service with them and a web service provider who is at the other end requires that web service. In this case, a requester will become a web service provider and web service provider will become a requester. So this may happen that some application is having a set of web services with them and they can distribute their web services on the internet. So how web services work? Web services basically require a XML file which has data enclosed in a tags, and a SOAP, which is a protocol which is used to transfer the XML file over the internet, and a WSDL file. WSDL file means web service definition language file. Now XML file contains a data enclosed in tags. Let's say that I want to send a request to the web service provider. I will send that request in a XML file, and in that request I will provide the requested data or the data that I want from the web service. Then I will send that XML file over the internet using the SOAP. SOAP is nothing but a simple object access protocol which is used to transfer XML files. SOAP is limited to the XML files. SOAP can send XML file and receive XML files. Now let's talk about the WSDL file, that is web service definition language. This file typically consists the information required by the requester to invoke the methods supported by the web service. Means there may be certain methods which are provided by the web service. If you want to call those methods, or if you want to know the address of those methods, that typical information of the entire web service is written into the web service definition language. As its name suggests, it is a definition language of the web service. What is a SOAP? SOAP is a simple object access protocol, as I earlier told. SOAP is XML based messaging protocol in which XML messages are being sent over the internet, and SOAP is platform independent. That means any language can interact with any other language over the internet. So XML files are understandable by the Java, VB, Python, Ruby, or some other languages as well. So it is a common format. XML format is a common format which can be understandable by the different programming languages available. What is meant by SOAP UI now? So SOAP UI is basically a tool available for web service testing, where we are going to test the web services, the requests and the responses, and the contents of the requests, contents of the responses using the SOAP UI. So SOAP UI is basically able to handle the SOAP request, REST request, JDBC request, as well as the HTTP request. So these many requests can be handled by the SOAP UI. Means using SOAP UI, we can drop a SOAP request and we will get the response inside the SOAP UI. Then we can map that response according to our requirements, and then we can test upon the responses that we get from the web services. So let us see the installation of the SOAP UI. I hope that you have got the idea of the web service. Now let us start with the installation of SOAP UI. So for installing a SOAP UI, you should have an exe file of the SOAP UI that you can get from the internet easily. How to get it from the internet? Let us see. Just go to Google and type download SOAP UI. Now it will lead you to the website of the SOAP UI. Here you can find the latest version of the SOAP UI. I just have downloaded one for me right now with me. It is with me. SOAP UI is available freely, as well as it is a vendor tool. But free version will not have certain functionalities in it. So if you want to go for those functionalities, you have to purchase the SOAP UI. So right now I am using the SOAP UI, which is freely available. I already have one installation file with me, so I am going to continue with that file. I have the 5.3.0 version of the SOAP UI available with me. So let us start with the installation. So simply double click on the exe file. So it will extract your exe file. Then simply click on next. Now it will ask you to accept the agreement. Click on accept agreement and then next. It will ask you the destination directory where you want to install your SOAP UI. You can customize this directory as per your requirement. Then hit next. Right now we don't have to bother about these things, so we are just going to click next, accept agreement, then click next, and then it will ask you to create a start menu folder. If you want to add it to the start menu, you can add it, and then click next and next. So it will start extracting all the files required, and it will install the SOAP UI. So I'll get back to you once it has been installed. Click on finish. Installation is done. Now the SOAP UI will open. So we have successfully installed SOAP UI in our machine, and you can see the UI of the SOAP UI tool. It is basically divided into three sections. On the left hand side you can see the project explorer, right hand side you can see the editor window, and at the bottom you can see the properties. So these are the properties associated with the project or the test case or the suite. So we will discuss all these functionalities available in SOAP UI in our next video. So keep watching. Thank you.